Hi, my name's Roy Allen and I'm here as part of Team AD with Lee Romang from Delkim. He's going to talk us through the settings of all three alarms in the range. Right, Lee, that's over to you, mate. You tell us about what we've got here.
Okay, well, what we've got here is the top of the range TXI Plus alarms, but the features are the same. So the Standard Plus has exactly the same features, and the EV has the same sensitivity set up, just with a lower range of sensitivity, but all the fundamentals are the same. So what you get with your TXI is you've got a sensitivity control, a volume control, and a tone control. So I think that's, you can adjust the tone.
Standard on all three alarms.
Yep, standard. I think that's self-explanatory. And you have the on-off switch at the bottom, which has a high and a low position.
I did notice that on mine. We've got a high and a low. Talk us through the
Okay.
reasons why you want a high and low.
This is the fundamental way in which the Delkim works, and which sets it apart from any other bite alarm on the market. The Delkim bite alarm works on vibration. Okay, so it doesn't, no moving parts, so it doesn't need to move to get indication. Okay, and what you have is a high range of sensitivity and a low range. So if we turn it on, we probably start for general day-to-day fishing. Okay, for your average angler who's chucking it out 50, 60, 70 yards, 10, 12 pound line, you would probably use roughly minus, so it's a low.
So that's pushing it to the right,
Pushing it to the right, so that's the low side, and you probably start off with a setting of about 4 or 5 on the S control. Okay, so that, you can see, is reasonably sensitive. So you're getting, you see I'm just knocking the line there, so, and then if I get any movement, that also sets it off. So that sets the Delkim apart from any other bite alarm, and that gives you pre-indication of a bite, fish moving in the swim, knocking the line, knocking the lead, picking it up, maybe blowing it.
You're going to see liners and stuff.
Yeah, you're going to get information. If you're up against a snag, you've got that sensitivity there that you can set so that you get that all the information you need, and that just can't be done with other indicators. You just don't get that type of information because of the way ours works. So and always the basic setup is start off slightly more sensitive than you think. If you're getting false bleeps, you turn it down.
Wind it back.
Just turn it back a bit. So
what would you suggest? Sort of bring it down to like a 3 or a 2?
Well, you always set it for the conditions that you're fishing. So today we're out on the water, the wind's getting up a bit, but it's nothing horrendous. So you could probably get away with quite a bit of sensitivity without getting any false bleeps. So I can turn that up now to, if I turn that up to plus and 6, this is the extreme. You can see how
super sensitive.
That's that is probably too much for most circumstances. But the beauty of that is that becomes a very versatile indicator then for maybe specimen anglers who are using light line, light bobbins, fishing for small finicky bites from roach, tench, bream, whatever, pike picking up the bait. And that's another thing. And maybe on a flat, calm, ice cold winter's day where it's still
definitely winter zig fishing with that sort of sensitivity. I mean, you're going to see every little tiny bit of movement, aren't you?
Exactly. But as you can see, it's not it's not going off in the wind, but that would be a little bit extreme. And one of the people who don't use Delkims and don't necessarily understand the benefits, the first thing they say is, Delkims are too sensitive. Well, that's crazy. That's like saying my car's too fast or my radio's too loud. It doesn't make any sense. You turn it down, and you can turn it down. So that's one extreme. If I turn that down to the minus side and drop that right down, I've got nothing. So you wind it up, and now I'm getting indication. So you set it exactly for the conditions that you're fishing.
So why would you want to turn the sensitivity down as low as what you just did there, Lee?
Well, one of the big reasons is to overcome false bleeps. So if it's really windy or you've got a lot of bobbing creep, you don't want that continual beep, 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 and I can show you that now. So I've got that on about 2 and on the minus, and that's still fairly lively in terms of sensitive. If I pull this slowly, you think, hang on, that's not working. But as soon as you get any sharp indication from a fish, away you go. You've got to run, so you can overcome those false bleeps. So you know when something's happening, it must be something you need to take notice of.
I think the lower sensitivity there in itself will be great for river fishing for carp as well, especially if you've got a lot of tow and you're getting false bleeps for that. Being able to drop that sensitivity down as low as that and know that you're not going to get bleeps from current, etc., that in itself is a massive edge.
My dad fishes for barbel, and he uses them with just the rods up in the air and donk, donk, donk on the end of the rod, extra pair of eyes, because you're getting that vibration. Another extreme is anglers using them on the continent, on the canals, so they're turning the sensitivity down, the barges are going, the rods are going all the way up, all the way down, but as soon as it pulls off the bait runner, you're getting indications, so you're not getting, all those false indications.
So you're in essence talking about 12 sensitivity settings there. In respect, you've got 6. And then the higher again.
It's not exactly one. Done there. Yeah, it's just you have to tweak it to where you want to be, and there's a slight, 5 and 6 in minus act very similar to sort of 0, 1 and 2 in plus. But in minus, it'll always take a bit more to set it off than it will in plus. So if if the conditions allow, you crank it up, because you're going to get information that you wouldn't get. Say you mentioned zigs, fish knocking it.
Oh, definitely.
It happens. It happens at 100 yards. Trust me, it happens. And when people that use them know that sometimes even single bleeps, one, you're alerted, and sometimes if they've picked it up and just spitting the bait out, we've had it times, striking, you've got a fish on the end. So that is the versatility of a vibration only system, and that is how to set the vibration for the conditions that you're fishing. If you're getting false bleeps, you turn it down. If the conditions allow, you turn it up. If you're using light bobbins, heavy bobbins, you balance it out. But generally, I would say a good start point is always about minus, about 4 or 5, and that's probably your good to go setting for most things, and then see how you go from there.
Okay. Shall we move on to the tone?
Okay. Well, yes. As you can see, I can adjust the volume. As you see on this one, you've got volume. Pretty damn loud. Wouldn't be wanting that. Wouldn't be wanting to sit next to somebody having that on at full blast. But you've got your tone there, so you can turn it up.
There's definitely something about that Delkim pitch that's...
and of course we've got the unique warble tone that everybody seems to love, which is came out of necessity more than choice, but that's just part of the vibration system, that the warble tone was something we had to incorporate to allow us to use the vibration system, because
it's definitely a renowned sound.
And it's turned out to be our signature tune, so that's something positive. The alarms themselves have low battery warnings, so you get a low battery warning and a low battery fail. So both on the standard and the TXI Plus, they have a battery fail and a low battery. The EV doesn't have that.
So what when you say it's got a low battery, what is that, a sound it'll emit?
Yeah, it makes a low drooping sound.
What sort of, I think I've had it on mine, is it like a doo-doo-doo?
It's like a pew, for want of a better idea. But I can show you that a bit later. But then if your battery's gone and it's time to throw it out, it'll just keep going forever. But not many people get low batteries, as you know. They last forever. One of our also
depends on how many fish you catch.
You're very. But one of our USPs is our massive battery life. We these things, while they're sitting there, are drawing next to nothing. So if you're catching loads of fish and fishing every day, then good luck to you, and you'll get through more. But in general, you're going to get a year's battery life out of these easy.
Right.
So But also, one of the nice features that we have on ours is adjustable LED brightness, and this is something that people don't necessarily realise these come with. I think yourself didn't realise.
I know that they're on there, but I didn't know they were adjustable. So talk us through that.
Yeah.
Lee.
So when you first turn it on, your default brightness is medium.
So this is straight out of the box.
Straight out of the box. You turn it on to plus or minus, and the default is medium brightness. Okay. Now, what we have on ours is another unique feature. We have night marking.
Okay. What's that?
So what that does is, if I hold the button down for one flash and a pip, that then, when that goes out, means that the LEDs stay on. You might be able to just see that ever so gently and glow.
So they've gone out now.
They've gone out, and that will just glow like that forever and a day.
We can't see it in the daylight.
Sitting there, but at night time, so it's just sitting there.
Just there.
It's comforting. You can see it's on. Also, no need for beta lights. You know, and as soon as you get a run,
we're back in the game.
It backlights up.
That's
so
cool.
that is night marking. But then we have the main brightnesses can be adjusted. So if I hold that down for 2, that's now what we call daytime brightness. So perfect for today. You can see now the bobbin is lit up as well, because that's the difference it makes. On the third setting, if you really wanted to, you could have full brightness with night marking. I don't know why you would want full brightness at night, but it's pretty damn bright, I can tell you. So I wouldn't recommend that, but it's on there. And then we have the fourth setting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's our nighttime setting. So you can see that's a lower level of brightness, and again, that's with the night marking. So you've got 5 different modes. If you wanted to go back to medium brightness without night marking, you turn the alarm off and back on again. So you can adjust.
So auto resets itself.
Yeah, it goes back to the default setting. So you can adjust the brightness of the LEDs for the conditions that you're fishing. So that's what that little button on the front does.
Cool.
Certainly on the EV, it turns it on and off, the product itself. But on the TXI and the standard, that is for adjusting your LED brightness.
Oh, excellent, cool. All right, we'll talk more about some of the other features on the alarms at the moment, but cheers for filling us in on the main key features of those alarms, Lee.
No problems.